Now, do you go by Jason? Go ahead, get your
I don't want to
That's
hold
fine.
this all the time. Right? Okay.
Is that good?
Yes.
Okay. Do you go by Jason Cotter or Jason Farley?
Jason Cotter.
Jason Cotter. Okay. All right. So my name is Lieutenant Sainch. I'm conducting the internal investigation that you filed against the Clintonville Police Department. All right. So when I was reading your complaint, and you can take a look at it. There's no hiding anything or anything like that. The first page isn't too bad. If you want to go ahead and read it, go ahead. Then the second page, some of it's cut off, and then just with the penmanship, some of it was difficult to go through. So what I would like to do today is to get an accurate statement from you as to what happened.
Okay.
Either you can write it, or as you are talking, I can write it for you, and then before you sign it, I would read it back to you, and you have the opportunity to read it, because it's your statement. It's not my statement. I'm not going to put any words in your mouth or anything like that.
No, I prefer not to write it.
Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're free to leave at any time. The door is only shut because there's other building stuff going around, so we're not distracted, and they don't distract us, okay?
Okay.
Comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay. So would you prefer me to write it?
Yeah.
Okay. So today is 12/21/2020. Time is 15:50.
I did bring, but I didn't.
Here.
Okay, yeah, you had a...
You want some paper? Do you need a pen?
Yeah, sure. I appreciate it.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Yeah, feel free to take whatever notes you want. Doesn't bother me. And you said you go by Cotter, Cotter.
Yep.
First name of Jason.
Yep.
And your middle is F.
Yes.
Right. Date of birth.
5/27/81.
Resident address.
N10561 Lakeshore Road.
Lake Shore Road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Clintonville.
What's that?
Clintonville.
Clintonville.
Yeah.
Telephone number.
715-460-0607.
Work address.
I'm just on SSI right now.
SSI. Okay. Okay, so this is your statement. I'm going to write down what you say. I might ask some follow-up questions to put in the statement. But like I said, I'm going to have you read through it. Do you want to make any changes? You can make any changes before you sign it. Okay, so there's nothing here. You're going to see everything. Okay?
Now the Clintonville Police Department statement, can I
Oh,
their statement that they have from that night.
Their police report? Is that what you're talking about? You got to go through the Clintonville Police Department to get that copy of it. I don't have access to that. It's there. Well, I do have a copy of it. Excuse me. I do have a copy of it.
You're not going to let me...
I don't have the... It's theirs. I can't give it to you.
But I could read it, right?
Okay.
I mean, we're doing an investigation.
I contacted the city attorney, both for the city of Shawano and the city of Clintonville.
Yeah.
Because if you research open records requests under state statutes, because there's an ongoing investigation, you can't look at the police report right now. Now, when my investigation is done, you can go to the Clintonville Police Department and you can get a copy of the videos and of the police report.
Okay, but when I ask you questions, if I feel like you're not trying to investigate this, I won't waste our time. You know what I mean? So when I ask you questions about it, now over the phone, you've been great. So I'm not. I don't mean this in out of everybody, I can tell you.
I don't take it personal. I understand you're upset. So
you've been the most honest out of everybody. Nobody else has told us the truth. You told us the truth from what I know. So I'm telling you, I don't have anything bad to say about you. But if I ask you questions about what the police report, does it even say that? Like, I mean, or in the video, is this what you see? Like, are you able to answer those questions?
I tell you what, when you have a question on them, just let me know.
Okay.
And Jason, I'm gonna try to be as open as you can, because I understand with limited information you might get frustrated with it. So I'm gonna tell you as much as I can.
Okay.
Okay? Sound fair?
Yes, it does.
All right. So where would you like to start? I'd prefer to start like at the traffic stop, but is there anything building up to it, or?
The only thing that would be of note, it would be about a year prior to the traffic stop. Officer Bartel peeped in her windows,
Okay.
and that pertains to me because, like I said, I don't know if it was me that got her in trouble profiling or what, or my profile got her. I don't know how that went.
So a year prior to the traffic stop, Officer Bertel peeped in her window. Do you have correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any more details? I mean, what
Yeah.
what was the circumstance behind it?
Him being a pervert. So
Okay.
as he was peeping in her window, he saw a marijuana pipe. That he was peeping in windows. Like that's it. Like he went and her window is the only her bedroom window and the front room window and then her kid's bedroom. Like those are the only ones with his boot prints going all around it.
Okay. So you said when I talked to you on the phone, I talked to you a couple times on the phone. You said it's an apartment complex, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And obviously it's on the first level.
Yes.
Okay. Was it her bedroom window, living room window?
Yes. To all that. Meaning
The
he has a thing with her windows. He wasn't happy with just one window.
Okay. So you're saying he appeared in all the windows?
I'm saying he appeared in select windows. I don't know if they were all of them. Her
Okay. So
bedroom
you don't know
was
specific
among
which
them.
windows?
No,
Okay.
her bedroom being one, and
Bedroom
I think
was definitely one.
yeah, and the living room was definitely one.
I'm just looking at how you spell her last name, so I just get it right. I think it's Caswell, correct?
Correct.
You said you use the term peeped, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Peep is in peep. Like without knowledge in a window that you would otherwise expect to have some sense of privacy in.
Officer Patel peeped into Devin's bedroom window and other windows?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And you said when he peeped that's when he saw a marijuana
He saw a
pipe
marijuana pipe, yeah.
Okay. And then did he eventually have contact with Devin then? Or?
Yeah, this guy was absolutely so brazen that he, after he saw the pop pipe, then he goes to her front door and he knocks on her door and tells her to give up the paraphernalia, right? Well, she didn't know anything about her rights. She doesn't know about her rights
Okay.
at all. I mean, most people don't, So she, instead of telling him to get lost and write a complaint on himself for being a pervert, she gave him the paraphernalia. Now, when she was going through, it's obviously just a civil thing, forfeiture or whatever. Well, while she's going through that, she gets offered, by either by the court or the attorney, either way, somebody who had the power to make the citation go away, if she didn't name him. So it wasn't that it didn't go, and the people realized that was wrong, and he had to be made aware that it was wrong. If he wasn't told it was wrong after they knew it was wrong, I'd like to know more about that.
Okay, so did she pay the fine for the marijuana pipe?
Oh yeah, because
she did. Okay.
they said, if you don't name him, then you won't have to pay it, and she was like, "Nah, Bartell's a pervert, and Tyler Bartell's a pervert," so she named him, and so I think the reason that's important here is because, I don't know, there seems to be a history of him not conducting himself morally when it comes to where your eyes and hands are, and then twice with the same citizen. I mean, I don't know, that just seems very, yeah.
Okay. And you're going to be able to chance to read this, but just so I don't get too far ahead here. Devin gave Bartell a marijuana pipe. Devin was cited for the marijuana pipe. Devin paid the fine. And you feel that Bartell is a pervert.
No, he is a pervert, definitely a pervert. But what I'm saying is one of his perversions was peeping in her window.
Okay, yeah, I got that in. I got up here. Yeah, I got that. Yeah. Okay. Anything else that you want to mention prior to we get into this traffic stop?
Okay, no, so
okay.
That
Okay, so we'll leave that. Then how do you want to start with the traffic stop? It's kind of yours. You can start wherever you want. If I need to ask more questions, I will. So like I said, this is your statement, sir. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. I'm just basically going to be writing, asking for clarification at times.
Okay.
So go ahead whenever you're ready.
Okay, so they would start with we went to the we bought a car. We went to the DMV.
And when you say we, just for clarification purpose, it's we meaning Devin and you.
Always, yeah.
Okay.
It'll always
be
good.
Do you remember which day? I know it's a while ago.
I don't.
Just trying to be accurate, but if you don't,
she had the papers. She had all the papers.
So the night you were stopped was 11/18, 11/19. Does that help you or not?
Then maybe it was 11/17.
Okay.
It might even have been 11/18. It might have been that day. I don't know.
I'm going to put Devin and I bought a car, I believe, on 11/17, 11/18. Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, we bought it a couple days earlier, but at a day or so prior to getting pulled over when we took it to the DMV to get registered.
Okay. Devin and I bought a car in November, and we went to the DMV to register it?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're saying you went to the DMV like on that's 18th, like the 16th or 17th?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Devin and I bought a car in November and went to the DMV on November 16th or 17th to register it. Okay. So the DMVs, were they open, closed? Were they open?
They were open, but experiencing computer trouble.
Okay.
And that was right here in China.
All right. Okay, so what was the end result of the DMV visit?
So the end result of the DMV visit was she was given a print off. So not even the same as a temporary plate. We have those in the windows right now, but a print off, and it said that for 3 days we were legal to operate even without having temp plates.
DMV gave Devin a print-off showing she could legally operate the vehicle for 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then what?
She was told that if she got pulled over in the likely event, that we would get pulled over, that she just present that to the officer, and then that provides all the proof we needed.
DMV told her if she gets pulled over, she should show the officer the print-off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
And okay, so and we fast forward. It was,
Yeah, we can fast forward. That's fine.
So it was 11:45 when I swiped my card at Quick Trip for
Okay. So 11:45 on the 18th.
Yeah.
Okay. So. That's PM, correct?
Yes.
So on 11/18/20 at 11:45, Devin and I were at Quick Trip. Is that fair? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need to go into detail about what you bought, or unless you want me to put in your statement. It's your statement. But,
I don't. No.
Okay.
So
I assume roughly at that point, that's when you left Quick Trip.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so when I got into the car, we had noticed that Bartel or some other cops were circling, and one was he thought he was kind of tucked in the back where we couldn't see him or whatever.
So you didn't know it was Bartel, or you knew it was Bartel?
Not by sight. No, I just saw the cop car.
Okay. So it was unmarked or marked?
I don't know. I saw the front of it and like the side. I didn't see the words police, but it might have had police on it.
Okay. So, and Devin was driving, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So while you were in the parking lot at Quick Trip, that's when you saw?
Yeah, because we saw him go by. We're kind of aware, and so we could see the same car go by a couple of times.
I'm just gonna put a police car. I don't know if it was marked or unmarked. Is that okay? He drove by several times.
Yeah, we noticed him several times. I don't know how many times he drove by or what.
I'm just gonna say saw a police car several times.
Yeah.
Okay, so Devin and I were in the parking lot and saw a police car several times.
Yeah. So
what happens next?
We're like, I even said it to him when he pulled us over. I was like, well, we saw you when we were in Quick Trip. I told her, well, let's just get it over with, because we know we have no plates, and I'm figuring the reason he goes over, he sees us in Quick Trip, and then he doesn't try to contact us there. He waits off, for us to pull away, because then, you don't have to have a license plate in a parking lot, but on a road you do. So
okay, so basically you guys end up getting pulled over after you leave Quick Trip by that same vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but I wanted to make note of that because I know nobody can say when somebody's under obligation to stop somebody, but I kind of feel like he had a lot of time to make contact with us to ask about the plates, even though we were in a Quick Trip parking lot.
Okay. Do you want me to put that in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just they chose to go the traffic stop route.
All right. I figured we were gonna get pulled over if we left Quick Trip. The officer had enough time to make contact with us before we left Quick Trip. Is that all right?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Okay, it says the police heading up. Hang on. Here we go. I figured we were going to get pulled over if we left the Quick Trip parking lot. The police had enough time to talk to us in the parking lot about the license plates, but did not make contact with us.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then what happens?
We're pulled over, and that was at no later than 11:56
Okay.
p.m.
And where did you guys get pulled over at? Like,
We were right by A&W, right by Econo Foods. So it was actually, I mean, I know a minute doesn't really matter, but it was like
no, that's right.
11:55.
It's best to be, as accurate as possible. So, Econo Foods, is that what you said?
Yeah, and A&W is right there too. My Google Maps, that's how I was able to determine how long we were
I
pulled
put
over.
that we got pulled over at 11:56 p.m. by A&W and Econo Foods area.
Yep.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Now, so he comes up to the vehicle, and
Okay.
he says, the reason I'm pulling you over is because you have no plates on the vehicle.
So,
Somebody
so when you
says-
say,
Before somebody even says anything to her, somebody said to me, hey, Mr. Cotter, or hi, Mr. Cotter. Did you catch that on the video? Like, it was weird. Before they even said, like, hey, hi, Miss Kedler, do you know why we stopped
before
you?
they said to her,
Before
they said hi to you?
Yeah, they said hi to me.
Okay.
Like, they took notice of me before they did the driver. That was weird.
So at this point, you just think it's an officer?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I don't know his name at all, but I know what he did, by his name after. Because
Oh, okay.
That's
So you didn't know him before this contact?
by his face, no.
Okay.
No.
Made contact on the driver's side or the passenger side?
Well, somebody said, hey, Mr. Cotter on the passenger side, and I think that was before contact was made on the driver's side. But when I'm talking about, do you know why I stopped you today, blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
that was done on the driver's side.
Okay. Do you want me to put in there about how the officer acknowledged you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And first, like not just eventually, which is fine, but I mean, it seemed that he acknowledged me first.
The officer acknowledged me by saying, hello, hello, Miss Scott? Is that
Something like that. Yeah, it was a great, basically a greeting.
okay?
Know.
So what I got is the officer acknowledged me by saying something like, hello, Mr. Cotter, before he spoke with Devin. Okay. Then you said the officer explained the reason for the traffic stop?
Yeah, he actually specifically said, the reason I'm pulling you over is because there are no plates on the vehicle.
The officer explained he pulled the vehicle over because there is no plates on the vehicle. Okay.
And then she told him, like, yeah, I was at the DMV, and their computer was down, and we were given this paper. She already had that in her hand with her driver's license. Said I was giving you this paperwork, paper to show you, so, But then she said, but yes, I'm aware there's no plates on the vehicle.
You said she showed him the printout?
Yeah.
Okay.
Handed it to him with their license.
Devin explained she went to the DMV and showed the officer the printout. Devin acknowledged there is no plates on the vehicle.
Yeah, but the printout, like, I don't know, like, oh, okay, you already described that it showed that we were legal.
That she showed the officer the printout.
And that the printout was described, like, saying that we were legal and all that.
Okay, I can.
Because that's important.
Yeah, I can put the printout was the printout from the DMV. Was that?
Yeah,
you good?
But if you covered that already, that the DMV.
I did.
So,
yeah, I got it in here. And you can reread it, and I can reread it to you. So yeah.
Okay.
And for the 3 days, the print off showing for the 3 days.
Okay.
I'll just put it in there just so there's no. what I did was I added the printout was from the DMV showing she could operate the vehicle for 3 days.
Okay.
Okay.
Then he, yeah, this is where it gets weird. He just takes the stuff and he goes back to his car with it. Like, nobody told him he could even go to his car with it. Now, I know, I mean, I don't know what kind of, I mean, I'm just a citizen, so I don't know what kind of, liberty, like, you guys can take with people's license and paperwork and stuff like that. And so, nobody even said that he could take it, much less hold it for, 20 minutes. So the guy's gone, and he didn't even come out. So after, we get pulled over at, say, like 11:55, and so by midnight now there's already, he has the paperwork, and he's already sitting in his car with it. And we're just sitting there waiting. And now I'm expecting to be let go. Me and Devin are joking with ourselves. Like, I've never had an experience where I wasn't let go or where I wasn't treated like I was. When I was filming, especially, like, usually my rights were followed, like they were respected. And but we're watching more and more people show up, and now I'm like, there is nothing. I'm even thinking in my head, like, what could there be? Because all we did was get mac and cheese, and like, well, what could there be that's making these guys feel all uptight and stuff? And man, there's nothing. Like, so yeah, we're sitting there waiting, and we see more and more people start to show up, and I believe the last person to come, I don't know. I obviously we're in the car and we're being detained. So from the time we gave him the paperwork until. We're being detained for, 50 minutes or so. I don't know when the end was, but when we were told we could go, or whatever. But we're being detained. He has our paperwork. And then more and more people are coming. And then eventually a dog ends up going around the car. And I'm making sure I watch the dog because I want to make sure that the handler isn't prompting the dog to hit or to even, to see if the dog makes any kind of I'm very suspicious of police. So I'm watching everything, and no, I don't see that the handler made any prompts that I know of, but the dog also didn't sit or the dog didn't sit.
Okay. Well, you're getting ahead of yourself, so we'll get there. So let's bring it back. Could operate the vehicle for 3 days. So the officer takes the printout and her driver's license?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he ask for anything else?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Takes the printout and the driver's license and goes back to his squad car?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. The officer takes the printout and Devin's driver's license and goes back to his squad car.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then what would you like to me next? You had mentioned more cars started showing up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I can put that. So we might put that next.
Yeah.
More police officers or more cars in general, or
yeah, there are more police officers.
Okay. More police officers showed up, and you guys were still in the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you know about how many, or just?
I noticed there was the first guy who pulled us over, and then I believe there was one behind him, and then I think there was one behind him, and then eventually. So the first guy pulled us over, and then I think there was one behind him, Kaczynski, and I think there was the sergeant, he came in one, and then I think the canine handler, who I never got to personally see outside of him walking around the vehicle, he ended up leaving before we could even ask him any questions. So he he was out of there before we could ask him like what a hit looked like or anything.
So
Say 4 cars altogether.
4 cars.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 plates, 4 cars.
So 4 police cars show up with how many more officers?
I know that there was perverted guy. What's his name? Bartel.
Okay.
Him. Then there's Kaczynski or whatever his name is. And then there's a sergeant who can somebody just tell me the sergeant's name at least? Is that sealed?
I don't think so. It's Windorf.
Okay.
No, you can fix your phone before you start. That's fine.
Oh, I believe we talked to him later too. That and put that together.
Yeah. So I think it's Jason Epps. There you go.
Alright, so Sergeant Windor.
Okay.
Then
So
there-
4 more police cars show up. Officer, I'm just gonna put officers on scene. Would that be okay?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then the canine guy. And then that's
Okay. So,
So there's-
officers on scene are. You said Bartel.
but they're not on scene like we're held for them to show up. Like so these guys it was just Bartel and then while we're sitting there, here comes a car and sits behind that one. We're like, what the heck?
Okay.
And then here comes another car and it's like, what the hell? And then, and then I believe there was another one with the canine in it then. But I mean, they came periodically.
Okay. 4 more police cars show up. Officers on scene are. Or do you want me to change that?
No, that sounds good. Sir.
Okay. Are you said Bartel?
Yeah.
Okay. Bartel and the sergeant.
Yeah.
Okay. And then who else?
So there's Kaczynski then.
Kaczynski. Oh, all right. I don't even know how to spell Kaczynski.
I've been.
All right. I'm gonna do my best, and I'm gonna put right in there that it's misspelled.
Okay.
Okay. Kaczynski. I'm just spelling it like how it sounded out. No, I'm just gonna put might be misspelled. Bartel, the sergeant, Kaczynski, anybody else?
Bartel, Kaczynski, the canine handler, but I mean, he was on scene. He had to be on scene to run him around the car, but I don't think I saw him, or I don't know if I saw him.
Okay. So do you want me to list the canine handler?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Anybody else?
Not that I
Okay.
know of.
Officers on scene are Bartel, the sergeant, Kaczynski, might be misspelled, the canine handler.
Okay.
Does that sound all right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then what happens?
Okay, so after everybody shows up, then we're kind of looking, and she says, what is that a dog? And I said, a dog? What the hell? And I was like, what? That's fucking ridiculous, to bring a dog. I couldn't believe that we were actually held there for a dog, knowing that that was just decided on, that they can't do that. So I was surprised, and he knew that we were filming. So I am absolutely surprised that there's a dog. Then now it comes around on my side first, I don't
Okay.
know. It's just funny how I was greeted first, and the dog comes around on my side first, and which is I don't care. But I basically then I start me and her joking among ourselves in the car, like a lot of the things with the live video. You know, I'm still expecting after this dog walks around, even though that was bad enough to have to wait for it, that we'd be sent on our way. You know that the dog didn't hit or anything like that. So I'm still I don't know.
Okay.
So we're just joking, like, I mean, and I'm like, what's it doing on my side? Like, you can't have any of my macaroni and cheese, you know? And so, I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
It was just weird. So this dog walks around our car.
Okay. So can I put that next?
What's that?
So after I put officers on scene are Bartel, the sergeant, Kaczynski, might be misspelled, the canine handler. The dog walks around the car. Is that okay to say?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I don't mean to sound stupid, and this is not a joke. The dog walked around with the canine handler, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, I think now I saw the dog, and now there's so many lights that it's kind of hard to make out who's who, but there's definitely, I'm assuming that it was just the canine handler walking the dog.
Okay. I put the dog walked around the car and assumed the canine handler is with the dog. It was hard to see with all the lights.
Yeah.
Is that fair? All right.
Just that the who is walking the dog. The dog is easy to see because of the lights, but I mean, people have face masks on. People
Yeah.
are so. I mean, I'm able to see the dog. I'm not able to. I don't recognize the person who's walking.
Okay. So you saw the person, you just didn't recognize
I
him?
don't recognize.
Okay, but you saw him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The canine handler?
Yeah, an individual yeah, walking dog. I'm assuming to be the handler. Like I say, nobody has even told me simple. I mean, besides like what I've been able to what you've been able to tell me, nobody's even told me simple things. Like they've been pretty tight-lipped about everything, you know. So I don't know a lot. I wish I did.
I saw the canine handler, but didn't recognize them. Is that what you was? I forgot what you just said.
I just saw you asked if I saw somebody, you know, with the, because there was Kaczynski, there was Bartel, there was the sergeant, and then somebody else did have the dog, but
Okay.
I don't know who that was, you know. And then I never saw that guy. He didn't stick around, or if he wasn't in the front, or I didn't notice him anymore after once we were pulled out of the vehicle.
Okay.
So I mean, who he was isn't something that sticks out in my head as much as, you know, what the dog was doing.
Okay.
And stuff like
So I saw the canine handler. How would you like me to finish that sentence? He didn't stick around. I didn't recognize him. He was wearing a mask. Or do
I
you
don't
want me to put all that
recognize.
stuff?
I don't
Okay.
recognize the canine.
Okay. And then what happens?
Okay, so now they walk away for a little. I don't know how long more. Like I said, it's all taped. I don't know how long more. It was several more minutes, you know, until he comes up to the car, and he's on Devin's side, and he says,
This is the original officer, right?
"Yeah, the
Okay.
Peruvian one."
Okay. So the officer who did the traffic stop?
Yeah.
Okay. And just for clarification, so we don't get confused, that's Bartel.
Okay.
Okay. So Bartel comes back up to the driver's side.
Mm-hmm.
And what does he say, or what does he do?
He says, I don't remember if he. I know the officers give her paperwork once. Man, I don't. Comes up to the car and he basically says that the dog did a positive alert on the vehicle.
Okay.
And I was like, man, whatever. But so it's like he keeps asking her to get out, and I was like, so you don't have to get out for the car if you don't want to. That dog didn't do shit. I know. So I'm pretty much thinking at some point here, one of the sergeants or maybe another officer that's there, especially a sergeant, that he would have stepped in and said, like, no, they don't have to get out of the car, the dog didn't even hit, but they didn't. So, yeah, they're telling her that she has to get out of the car, and I'm like, why are you asking her out of the car? I said, that makes me uncomfortable. Who am I? Nobody, fine, but, I mean, like, why are you doing that? He said, there was a positive alert on the vehicle. I'm like, man. So I said, you're ordering us out. I make him say it over and over, and you're ordering us out, and we want to stay in here. I said, you're violating her rights. I make sure he knows well in advance, man. So he does it anyway. Tells her to come out, and that the dog hit, and I don't know what he got. Man. Anyway, so then he. As he's patting her down, as he's saying he's going to do a pat search on her, she says, well, I want a female officer then. I've been sexually harassed by men in the past, and she was one of those men. And he was one of those men. Okay. So let's take special note of the fact that he is one of the men that she was sexually harassed by in the past. At least, peeped in on it. There are laws to protect that,
You said Devin asked that she was sexually harassed by men in the past, and did she ask for a female officer or not?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she did.
Mm-hmm. And his response was, we don't need a female officer. There's multiple officers present.
Bartell tells Devin to get out of the car. Bartell tells Devin he is going to do a pat search on her. Devin asks for a female officer because she has been sexually harassed by men in the past. Bartell stated, we don't need a female officer. There are several officers present.
Yeah, but before that she asked why she was being asked out of the vehicle. She said she didn't want to come out of the vehicle. That needs to be definitely noted.
Yeah, you didn't tell me that before. That's why we'll add it right now. That's why I only write a sentence or two, and then I ask you to make sure, just so we can get the flow right. But we'll take care of it right now.
Yeah.
Before. Okay, so Bartel tells Devin to get out of the car. You're saying before that, Bartel comes up to the driver's side and says the dog does a positive alert on the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Bartel tells Devin to get out of the car.
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
when I said I was making sure he knew that we didn't want to get out. That I said
Okay.
you're violating
So,
our rights.
Bartel tells Devin when how about I put it here? When Bartel tells Devin to get out of the car, then we can say
Yeah,
what you want.
when-
Okay. Okay, how do you want me to finish this? When Bartel tells Devin to get out of the car,
we repeatedly impress on him that we don't want to exit
Okay.
the vehicle.
when Bartel tells Devin to get out of the car, Devin and I stated we don't want to get out of the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, over and over and over.
When Bartel tells Devin to get out of the car, Devin and I tell Bartel we don't want to get out of the car. We tell Bartel this several times.
Yeah, and then he's
Okay.
violating our rights.
Okay. You want me to put that in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're being ordered out, and I said you have to get out so that they don't beat you up or anything. So she was ordered out under threat. I mean, there was no willingness about that.
Bartel is violating our rights.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that she's exiting the vehicle so that they don't beat her up.
Okay. Okay, and then what? So that covers that. Then we go back to Bartel stated we don't need a female officer. There are several officers present. Then what happens after that?
Then I said, man, this is totally. I said, you're violating her rights right now. Because at that point of him taking her out of the vehicle and even putting his hands on her, it's assault. I mean, he's no longer operating in official capacity at all because he went rogue. He has no legal ground to stand on to touch somebody at this point. Waiting for the dog was bad enough, but now to pull them out and touch them, now I'm surprised by all this. Like, I'm more than surprised. Like, I couldn't believe this is happening. I still can't believe that it happened. But when he's searching her, now she's telling him I was harassed by men in the past, so you doing this is not okay. But during the course of the search, now he's conducting it unprofessionally. He's using his palm of his vagina or palm of his hand to pat her. But why would he even pat her vagina is a question of mine. But second, why with an open palm? Why and the way he conducts the search is completely inappropriate, and it's insensitive to the fact of the things that she had gone through, and especially the fact that he had looked in her windows before. I mean, out of all the cops to search her, you pick the one that's been perverted with her in the past. And so there's a lot of things that are making her say, you doing this right now is not okay. And now now the reason I say all this is because I have to watch this shit happen. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine watching somebody else touch your girlfriend? I mean, I love her. So that was rough. Really rough. But I'm expecting some point here this is going to stop because there's a sergeant here now, and now there's another officer. And at one point I was recording, and I actually stopped recording because I thought it was Kaczynski. So I was like, well, I just stopped recording because my phone was low, and I figured I'd just wait and see. So I wasn't, man, absolute, yeah. So she got pulled out of the car, and she got touched inappropriately. Touched at all was inappropriate after telling somebody you don't want to be touched and they have no legal right to touch you. But then he absolutely inappropriately touched her. Not just was it inappropriate to touch her, period, but he touched her inappropriately he touched her vagina, like, and he shouldn't, you know, through her plants, you know. As far as I was able to tell, I mean, it was all through it. And she says she knows, like, the order of the legs and everything, and I'm sure she does because of the things that stick out in your head when stuff like that happens. And but he searches her, and then I'm told to get out of the vehicle. And
okay. Well, let's before you said a lot, so I want to get it on paper before we get too far ahead. So Devin is out. So Devin steps out. Does Devin step out of the vehicle?
well, she was stepped up.
Yeah, I get she was ordered,
First.
and we got that. So she eventually does step out of the vehicle.
Yeah, because she got patted down.
Right. And she gets patted down. Do you know where she gets patted down? I mean, did they pat her down like right by the driver's door? Did they take her back to the squad car? Did they? Where
no,
did they?
It's not all the way back by the squad car, but it might have been as far as the trunk. I mean, but it was enough that I could see. I could see if I looked in. I mean, I could still see it, so it wasn't so far back
Okay.
that I couldn't.
So the trunk, not of the squad car, the trunk of your guys' vehicle.
It might have been right around there. I don't want to.
Okay.
I'm not really exactly
No,
sure.
I appreciate your honesty. So it wasn't. So if this was the vehicle, you know, here's the driver's door. It was in this area someplace at the rear of the vehicle. Is that safe to
I
say?
guess I'd have to be in the car, but I mean, so I mean, I can see. See, I can see her in the passenger, in the rear passenger or rear driver's side windows. So I don't know. It could be anywhere. I
Okay.
mean, that's not the part that sticks out. You know what I mean? So I can't really say like
Okay.
exactly here. Or,
So should we just not even mention?
well, she was viewable.
Okay, I'm just. Well, yeah, I'm not. Should we not even mention location? I'll just put that you can see her getting patted down.
Yeah.
Is that good? Okay. Devin gets out of the vehicle, and I could see Devin getting patted down. And then what happens?
When she said that it was inappropriate. It was, you know, I've been inappropriately touched, or I've been touched by men in the past. So you doing this right now is not okay. But what I see of his past, he's done it with the open palm on her, and at least on the upper. So on her vagina. I mean, I don't want to keep saying vagina. I mean,
It's got to be accurate. It's not a vulgar term or anything like that. It's part of the human anatomy. So
yeah,
I don't take offense to it. That's fine.
He searches it with an open palm, or
Okay.
the tip. I mean, I can't see whether it's palm or the tips of his feet, but it was the underside of his hand,
Okay.
the side you use when you're grabbing somebody.
Bartel used the underside of his hand, which that's what you said, to search Devon's vagina area.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, and then what happens?
I mean, she's protesting the whole time.
Okay.
I'm protesting from the passenger side, and he keeps saying how he has the right to do it. And he quotes a positive alert by the dog, that's the reason he has, that he could do it. Statute allows me to do it. There's a positive alert from the dog, and I think it's like 5 or 6 times where he says the dog hit on the vehicle, and then also uses the term positive alert.
Okay. Devon and I protested the entire time. Bartel stated the dog had a positive alert.
Yeah.
Okay. So then what?
Now, after she's done being searched, they call it search. I'm not going to call that a search. After she was done being groped, then they asked me out of the vehicle. Now,
okay. Who's they?
They being the police.
Okay.
For every
so you
shining light that was there.
Okay. You don't know who asked, or just everybody did, or?
I do. I know that Bartel was among them. I mean, and Kaczynski was there. I mean, they were all there. They were all the same. I mean, the one who did the pat. And there's certain things I could tell you about which one was which, but otherwise they're all just cops.
So yeah. So should I just say officers asked you to step out?
Yeah. Not asked. I was ordered out.
Okay. Officers ordered you out of the vehicle.
Yeah.
All right.
And I asked them to again. Like, you realize I want to stay in the car, right? They said that that wasn't an option. That I had to get out of the vehicle.
Officers ordered me out of the vehicle. I told the officers I wanted to stay in the vehicle. The officer stated it wasn't an option and I needed to get out of the vehicle.
Yeah, I said I'm being ordered out, right?
Yep, I have it ordered right there. It's in there.
That's
okay.
Man, they let me out of the car, made me get out of the car, and then they're digging through my pockets, and so.
Who's they? Were they all?
Now there's like 2 cops. I wish I wasn't on live so I could show it to you. So from the view that she has now, there's 2 cops and they're in the front. We're in the back of the car, my car now, and they're taking stuff out of my pocket. They're asking me questions about if it's a vape and is it a THC vape and is it a lighter.
So were there 2 cops searching you or one?
Yeah, there was at least 2 cops at first.
Okay.
That were
2 cops searching you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I want to note that they're unplugging or unclipping things from my belt, lighters, their vapes, stuff like that, not weapons. They aren't asking about weapons. They aren't doing a pat search for weapons. They're messing with all my stuff in my pockets. Like,
Okay, I'm just trying to think how to phrase that, so hang on. There were two cops searching me, and they were clipping. Is that
Yeah, like I have.
you got like a wallet chain or something?
Yeah,
Or?
well, I have here my vape and my lighter and
Oh, okay.
this chain. So they asked me like, what is that? A
Okay,
THC
so
vape?
vape and lighter. Okay, so that's what I'm not exactly what I'm going to say. There were two cops searching me. They unclipped my vape and lighter from a chain I had on my jeans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, and then what happens?
Um, like I said, they continue to go through stuff in my that has nothing to do with like a frisk for weapons or their safety or anything like that. So after this stuff is unclipped and they've patted my pocket to feel it, what's this, what's that, what's this, and they've asked that. Now this is all on tape on the YouTube stuff. So they're asking that, what's this, what's that, what's this. They've emptied my pockets, and so then this guy, he's, and I didn't even know. So he patted me down again, when he pats me down, he grabs my penis. He didn't brush across my penis. He didn't accidentally do this like he's trying to pat my leg up, and he didn't. I could tell you my penis and my leg are quite different, and he grabbed my penis. He grabbed my penis, the tip of my penis. He grabbed it and he grabbed it like he didn't pat it down. He grabbed it, and so I said, that was the tip of my penis. I said, that was the head of my dick or something like that. And he says, you'd be surprised where people hide things, Jason.
Okay. Do you know which officer that was? Or?
Bartell.
Okay.
The perverted one. That's what I keep saying. Like that's what he does. He's a pervert. On the clock. He does perverted stuff. He peeps in windows, grabs penis. And I mean, I'd like to know. He's the same one that grabbed her vagina. I mean, like, so he peeps in her windows, grabs her vagina, and grabs my penis. Like.
Bartell grabbed the tip of my penis during the search. I told Bartell that is my penis, and Bartell stated, you would be surprised where people hide stuff, Jason.
Yeah, that was the head of my penis. He said you'd be surprised people hide things.
Okay. Then what happens?
Then, right after that, after I say that was my penis, You'd be surprised where people hide things. Then he takes a finger, it's gloves. He takes his gloved finger and he puts it down the crack of my ass in through my underwear, meaning right in between my butt cheeks. He puts his finger.
Okay.
And then pulls it right back out.
You said it was a glove?
Yeah, he had his.
I know that's it's a micro detail, but do you know which hand or not?
No.
If you don't, just say you don't.
I don't know which
okay.
hand.
Patel took his gloved hand and stuck his finger between my butt cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No. Yeah, I don't know. Then after that, they say they're going to search the car, and I'm.
The officers did, or Patel
Yeah. Well, after I seen her get her. Now we're really polite all the way up until, I mean, we joke among ourselves, but we're polite with the officer and all the way up until the point where he's telling us to get out of the car. So even all the way to the point of being searched by a dog and everything else. And once he tells her to get out of the car, our attitudes start to change. Not so much our, like our act. We don't become threatening then or nothing. But I'm saying our attitudes start to change, as in now we're pissed because now our civil rights have just been violated, and they didn't give a shit. Like, and I'm even telling them as they're doing it, and they don't care. And then they make me watch him touch her, and then he does that to me. And nobody there said anything. The sergeant, nobody said no, he didn't. This dude didn't say, hey, no, I didn't grab your dick, man. I don't want you to get this confused. I thought it was your vape that I just unclipped from you and put somewhere else. They had already unclipped all my stuff. That's what I mean. They had already went through my pockets and taken things out. And then he does it again, and this time grabs my dick. Like, what is the point of this? Because they didn't like the fact that I didn't have anything in my pockets. So he grabbed my penis? Like, I don't understand. I want to understand. I really want to understand, but nobody will tell me anything. Nobody will even admit that it happened, but it happened. And so, yeah, I guess the rest, like I said, I don't know what to say other than like I have the videos, and like that's why I said if I come here I wouldn't know much to say, but if you
we got close to 3 pages here, so.
But there's a lot more.
I'm saying you're saying stuff, you know what I mean? So you do have a lot to say. So, is there anything you want? I mean, you want to stop your statement now?
No.
Okay.
I have
yeah. So, what happens after stuck his finger between my butt cheeks? Okay.
Now, I'm asking the sergeant what the dog hit looks like. They say they're going to search it.
Okay. So,
yeah, after he grabbed my penis, and I said to him, you just grabbed the head of my penis.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you'd be surprised where people hide things, Jason. So he was purposeful. He was exploring that as a possible place that I was hiding something.
Okay.
The tip of my penis. Because he said so. You'd be surprised where people hide shit. I said, that was the tip of my penis. I've never been searched at. I mean, where your penis meets the rest of your body. I mean, you know, I mean, we all pat searches. You know, it's done and it's, but his response was, "You'd be surprised where people." No, it was, "You'd be surprised where people hide things, Jason." That I want to make very, very clear.
Yep. Do you want me to reread it?
Well, we'll reread it. I mean, that's
Yeah,
okay.
we can edit it as much as you want. So asking Sergeant what the dog hit looked like.
Yeah, and the sergeant says it's a change in behavior.
Okay.
Now, I got the impression that they were recording each other because Kaczynski and Bartel, they said, we're going to hurry up, like basically we're going to hurry up and search the car. Like they were going to do us a favor and get us off the road and everything. But they know that everything's against our will, that we should be on our way. Now, and I'm telling the sergeant that, and they said that they were recording each other. He said, Kaczynski said his body cam was rolling, and so it's good to go. He'll be. But Bartel, he made. Man, if he didn't expressly say it, then he definitely. I was under the impression that he was recording. I'll double check and see if he didn't expressly say it, that he was also recording on body cam because. Like I said, the body camera footage, I'm hoping that it shows a better the search, the pat search or whatever that's called. I hope that at least one of them are caught like on there. And anyway, so I thought, I don't know if there's a missing camera or what, because it just seemed, I thought they said that they were both searching. And now when I'm talking to the sergeant, I asked him, what does a dog hit look like? Because I just watched this dog go around the car, and I want to know what it looked like. He said it's a change of behavior. And I said, well, that's vague. I mean, that's so broad. I mean, you know what I mean? Saying it's a change of behavior is like, he just summed up the question I just asked him. Like, what does your dog do to alert? Well, it does something to alert. That's what he said. Like, it's a change of behavior. Like, I know, but I'm asking what that change of behavior is, you know? And so that was the beginning of the double talk, you know, that came from Clintonville Police Department. That's why we're so pissed. Besides what initially happened, it's the way they've been treating us like we're idiots, man. Like, instead of, anyways. So, I don't even know where we're at.
Oh, that's right. That's why we got it written down. So we ask him the sergeant what the dog hit looks like. The sergeant tells me a change in behavior, and at that point, are the officers searching the vehicle?
Yeah, they're already in the car searching.
All right.
And I said, and I'm telling them, like, look, so if your dog, now before they even search, I said, so if your dog doesn't find nothing, then it's retarded, right? He said, let's go for it. One of them cops said that. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it. So now, they had talked themselves into a corner now where if they came up empty-handed, they were going to feel stupid, because instead of just admitting the fact that the dog didn't hit, they started talking shit on the side of the road, like let's go for it. I said, your dog, I mean, and I'm talking shit because I know the dog didn't hit. Now, my complaint was never against the dog, because I saw the dog not hit, and you said the dog didn't sit either. And so, I mean, I asked you if the dog sat, and you said it did not. And so, I mean, I have everything that shows that an alert is that dog, or them sitting, that they're trained to alert passively, and the trainer from, the chief tells me to ask him, like Lafani, Fani or something, Shifani. Anyway, so I asked them, but I'm asking them like because I want to buy a dog. And I said, what does it, you know, but how do you train your dogs to alert? And he said that there's either passive or there's aggressive alerting. And he said that their dogs are trained to passive. He said every dog he's ever trained, every dog he trained there has been trained to alert passively. And he said So sometimes it'll sit and it'll, concentrate on an odor, and sometimes it'll just sit. But he said it'll at least sit, like that's to alert to narcotics. So now I saw what you saw. The dog didn't sit, so there was no alert for narcotics, and I'm telling them, you guys aren't gonna find anything. You're on a fishing expedition. I don't know what they were doing. Besides touching us inappropriately and all that, I said you aren't gonna find anything. And I said, and then what? Your dog's retarded? Now I'm being sarcastic because the dog isn't the retarded one. The dog is them for thinking I was just gonna shut up and leave. If they thought they were gonna just touch me and lie and then say they found something but never present it and intimidate me after I left and that I was gonna go away, they have some severe mental deficiencies because this ain't going away. There was too much stuff that they did that day. So we're now to the sergeant, and how I'm asking him what is a hit?
Yep.
What does a hit look like?
And then at the last sentence,
nobody will say. He won't say, oh yeah, well the dog hits passively, so they'll sit down most of the time, or they'll sit down all of the time because it is considered an alert, So he doesn't say anything like that. He says it'll change in behavior. And then I said, you don't train it to sit or scratch, nothing? He said, no. That's his words, and that's on tape too. He said, no. Now that is absolutely a lie. They are trained to sit, and I have that from several. The Waupaca County Sheriff called me and actually called me back about one of the alerts from canine handlers. And he says our dogs are trained, and he's explaining the passive or the aggressive alert. And he says our dogs are trained to passively, which means that our dog it sits when it alerts to narcotics. And I said okay, so I said okay, it'll sit when it alerts to narcotics. So that's the consent. So now when I'm asking him, he actually said no, they don't train it to sit or scratch. And I said, so what's its change your behavior? He said, it's walking alongside of a car and then it changes direction. That's what this sergeant, he says, the dog does to alert to narcotics. That it'll be walking along a vehicle and then change direction.
Okay.
Come on. Can we have a laugh at that for a second?
All right. So, other officers are searching the vehicle. Sergeant tells me change of behavior. So then what happens next on the stop?
I'm like a change of behavior now. He's like, and I'm all I'm doing is I'm talking, and I know that. And
okay, so you're having an extensive conversation with the sergeant about the dog's behaviors
and them searching and why we aren't able to look,
okay.
And me telling them, you're gonna come back empty-handed unless you plant it there. And then that's going to show that your dog's stupid. Because I kind of felt like they backed themselves into a corner by saying that the dog alerted. So that now when they don't find anything, to save face, that they would have to find something. And like I said, I don't trust police. I don't. I thought they were going to plant something. I am still surprised that they didn't. I don't know that that's not going to come later, but I am very surprised that they didn't plant anything. That's what I thought was going to happen.
I'm having a conversation with the sergeant about the traffic stop.
Yeah, in the search and how illegal it was and how we shouldn't have been held for the dog.
Okay, so then what happens next? Does the conversation end? Does it keep going? What happens after? What happens after I assume the officers get done searching the vehicle?
Yeah, they I guess they got done. I didn't realize they were done because they never even opened the trunk.
Okay.
So these three experienced officers, one of them's a narcotics cop. Maybe he's not familiar with the fact that narcotics are sometimes stored in people's trunks, but They didn't even search the trunk, so I didn't know they were finished until they came up and said they were finished. Now this guy actually came with his face hanging out for the world to see. That he said, well, there was some THC shake in the center console, and that would be what the dog would alert on. Now, I was thinking, so if there's enough for a dog to alert on, there should be enough for you to bring me a little pinch and a glove, right? Something to let me see it, that it exists.
The officers told you there's THC shake in the center console?
They said that there's THC shake in the center console, yeah. They said that there was THC shake in the center console, and I was like, yeah. The whole time I'm saying they're going to come back empty-handed or they're going to plant something. And so they came back and said there was THC shake in the center console. And that's what the dog hit on. And yet they didn't bring nothing. They didn't bring anything. They didn't show anything. They came back. They knew they didn't find shit. And now, I don't know what they were thinking. My guess is they were thinking that they would just intimidate me into leaving by threatening about my PO, and then this would all go away, and they would just be another time they do this in Clintonville. And it's not. So, he said that they found THC shake. Now, I have a right. Now, that's an accusation. And now they're saying that this, now I have a parole officer, which means I have somebody I have to answer to. And so if you're pulling me over and you say that you have THC shake, now I know there's going to be a police report. We just spent an hour on the side of the road. I have to tell my parole officer things the next morning. I have to report police contact. So for me to ask you, was it tested? Okay, I want it tested because I know I don't have any THC shake. So then when they tested it, instead of just being a hard ass, they could have used one of their $5 field kits or whatever it is. And you know how many times when things got used against me over a cellophane with nothing in it? I mean, what used to be a bowl of weed? And they, that's all. So then I could tell my PO they didn't find anything. There was nothing. Instead he said, well, right now it's no issue. And this is when Kaczynski speaks up, because he knows it's bullshit. And so Kaczynski speaks, right now it's no issue, but if we test it, then it becomes, possession or then it becomes THC or controlled substance, and then it becomes it's a violation. And and I said, and this is, well, I've been sufficiently intimidated into leaving. Plainly, I let them know the only reason I'm leaving right then is because they scared me into leaving. They told me, basically, if I don't leave, I'll wind up in jail. That's how I saw it. That's not what they were saying. I still let them know that I was intimidated into leaving, in those exact words, because I said, I want that tested. Okay. Why would you send somebody down the road in a car that has the same THC shake in the same spot that would lead you able to search their car anyway? Wouldn't you get rid of that? So then the next time I get pulled over for a headlight or something, I don't have to worry about getting jostled on the side of the road and all that shit. Will I be able to have a copy of this report once we make it?
Well, usually you have to do an open records
You're going to make me go
request.
through all
Okay, but here's the deal. I have no problem giving you, after we're done here, giving you a copy of this.
Okay.
Okay? I'm fine with that.
Because my battery's at 4%, and I'd
Okay.
like to be able to finish this if I could have a copy of
Yeah,
the,
I'm not gonna make you drive back down from Sean or anything. I'll give you a copy. It's your statement. I'll give you a copy of it. I'm not supposed to, but I will, just, out of courtesy that you guys came down here and things. So that won't be an issue.
Thank you.
Okay. The officers told me there is THC shake in the center console. The officers didn't show me anything. I asked for the shake to be tested. Kaczynski stated if it tests positive, there could be a charge. I am on parole and have people to answer to. I felt intimidated and said I would leave.
No, he didn't say that. That's making him sound a lot more like he was doing me a favor. No, what he said was, I said, well, was that tested? And then I was talking to Bartel, and then Bartel, he gets a blank look on